Makeshift's August 2021 issue is entitled Labeled. It's about how the future of conscious consumerism lies in facts. And as usual, anytime we mention facts, figures, reports, and innovations, we'll make sure to link them in the written report. Who was it that said, knowledge is power? Jaded by empty virtue signaling and hungry for transparency, tomorrow's consumers will respect brands that put their values first, literally. And we're not talking about brand logos, but meaningful labels. Think carbon footprints, workers' rights, environmental sustainability. Help consumers vote with their credit cards by measuring your brand's impact and slapping the results on your products and services in no-nonsense terminology. Are you ready to wear your heart on your cardboard sleeve? So why now? It's never been more difficult for purpose-driven consumers to separate the genuinely good brands from the sneaky PR pranksters. It's safe to say that we're living in an era of overwhelm. Too much choice, too many brands, and hollow marketing messages times gazillion, in which instant gratification, no matter the ramifications, is only ever a swipe away. Rather than add to it, curate it with labels instead. In Sweden, a pilot carbon labeling scheme saw consumers pick products that were 25% less polluting than usual. But are you really surprised though? No, neither are we. According to a recent survey, over half of consumers in 16 countries believe that they have the collective power to help halt climate change. Consumers are adopting the tactics of soft activism by viewing each of their purchasing decisions as a vote for a better world. But don't just take our word for it. Across the globe, 79% of consumers are changing their purchase preferences based on social responsibility, inclusiveness, and environmental impact. It's time for you to reclaim control. Mega brands like Unilever might be devising their own labeling schemes, but consumers are already keeping score. Some brands have third-party impact tracking built into their services, giving consumers the inside scoop on their purchases. Case in point, Klarna, the buy now, pay later firm with over 90 million users worldwide, has an integrated carbon tracker which estimates a product's carbon footprint from production to delivery at a shopper's front door. And the key takeaway here, label or get labeled. Now let's take some lessons from some of the best in class. Heal Label is a free app launched in June 2021 which quickly estimates a product's social and environmental impact. Users simply search the ingredients, materials, or country of origin listed on a product's packaging, and the app provides a rough snapshot of how the item might impact a user's health, the environment, animals, and laborers, hence the acronym HEAL. Heal Label is based in LA, but the app's available to conscious consumers dotted across the globe. Let's move on to the daily grocery shop. The online groceries app Green Choice has used data collated from NGOs and third-party certifiers to apply food ratings to 350,000 consumer products found at big-name brands like Walmart and Whole Foods. Since April 2021, users have been able to filter out products based on over 90 different food preferences and personal values. Palm oil-free, low water footprint, and organic being 3. And the cherry on top, Green Choice offsets the carbon emissions of every order. Now onto the world of fashion. Google and the World Wildlife Foundation Sweden are teaming up to help fashion industry insiders source more sustainable fabrics. In June 2021, the pair announced a new environmental data tracking platform, which will use Google Cloud's big data analysis and WWF's expertise in raw materials to give fabrics environmental scores, referencing each step in a textile supply chain. The platform will be open source, so brands can weed out dubious manufacturers early in the design process. Let's hop back to food for a moment. Foundation Earth is a food labeling scheme established in June 2021 with the intention of helping consumers better understand the environmental impact of their dietary choices. Scores take into consideration the farming, processing, packaging, and transport of a product, and are demarcated by colour using a traffic light system. The UK-based initiative is soft launching in Q4 of 2021, with plans for a Europe-wide rollout in 2022. Now let's take a look at an innovation from Southeast Asia. Since April 2021, Singapore-based Salad Stop has been listing the carbon emissions of its meals, making it the first restaurant chain in Asia to do so. The labels, which are displayed on the brand's menus, take into account farming practices, land usage, and water wastage, among other factors. Alongside the carbon labels, Salad Stop launched a partnership with conservation charity Handprint, giving consumers the option to offset their meals at checkout. Now on to a brave startup that plans to track the carbon footprints of every product in the world. Carbon Fact is on a mission to provide consumers with carbon footprints for every product in existence. After launching in July 2021, the France-based platform started with sneakers, by analyzing manufacturers' sustainability reports, estimating their shoes' carbon emissions, and then posting the results online. The company hopes brands will use the platform to share their own data, thereby turning Carbon Fact into a must-visit destination for carbon-curious consumers. Now let's move on to some of the opportunities that Labeled presents for your business. Firstly, bold is best. Come on, don't bury your labels in the small print. Earn the respect of conscious consumers and make their lives easier by designing labels that are impossible to avoid and sticking them in clear view. There's no point confusing people with complicated terminology either. Figure out a system which consumers can instantly understand. One great example, take a look at Cocoa Kind. Each of the skincare brand's products are stamped with labels outlining its impact across 4 life cycles, from sourcing through to disposal, along with granular breakdowns of exactly which product components are recyclable. As consumers try to reach their own ethical benchmarks, they'll empathize with brands that are doing the same. Take strength in your vulnerability. Consumers don't expect brands to be perfect, but they do expect full transparency. Over 60% of UK consumers value brands which are transparent about their operations, celebrating progress over perfection. And labels aren't about elbowing your competitors out of the way, but demonstrating a commitment to progress, whether you're new to the game or a well-seasoned pro. And finally, prove your transparency by inviting a third party, like the company Good On You, to score and label your products. There's a double win to be had here. Not only will you earn consumer trust, but it might help uncover blind spots in your supply chain that really need cleaning up. Or step it up a gear. Do like Allbirds and make your brand an authority in product transparency by setting up your own product testing scheme. And who knows, cause enough of a stir and your efforts might just nudge governments towards greener pastures. Before we go, we'd like to leave you with some easy ways that you can start practicing Labeled within your organization. And as usual, we'll make sure to link all of these in the written report. Firstly, check out the Carbon Literacy Project. Learn how to limit your brand's carbon footprint by enrolling in its day-long course. Secondly, start researching whether there are third-party labeling services already present in your sector, and glean tips on designing your own system. Next, read this book about the decolonization of commercial farming in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Use it as a springboard for a broader discussion on sourcing. And finally, get clued up on how other brands, those which provide services like Twitter, are already dabbling in labeled initiatives. We really hope you enjoyed this issue of Makeshift, and if you aren't already subscribed, head to www.trendwatching.com to sign up for all of our free trend updates.